Hey everybody, this is Tiffany from DistributorCentral. It's not quite 1 o'clock yet, but Charity and I are ready to go and really excited. So we'll let everybody keep getting signed in. We might start just like a minute or so after that 1 o'clock time, while we let everybody get situated. But if you're on already and you're also excited and ready to go, I'm sure you're going to have lots of questions and comments and things that you want more information on. As we're talking today, feel free to use the chat functionality to send in any questions or comments that you might have. I'm going to be fielding those while Charity's presenting building your brand and how to differentiate yourself within the industry to your customers. But I'll be monitoring the chat as she's going, and make sure to kind of buzz in and start asking some questions that you might have. So as we're going through this content today, feel free to use that, and we'll get started here in just a minute or so. And Charity, you can hear me. Do you want? Let's just make sure everybody can hear you.
Testing, testing.
You're testing. You're there. Okay, perfect.
Microphone check. Yeah, me and
my
all the
technical aspects have been covered before we get started.
But it's so much fun when everything goes crazy.
And I wouldn't be surprised if there is something that gets messed up as you and I do this today. It would not be shocking.
It would sure be memorable, though. That's all good. That's what you need to remember, people. If you're here and something goes crazy, just remember it was memorable.
There's nothing that can't be fixed. Well, we're right at 1 o'clock, and so we're going to go ahead and get started. I really appreciate everyone's time today. Charity and I were just talking a little bit about what we could do to present some co-content on things that she speaks in the industry about so much, and things that she's really good about, and then how we could use technology to back up some of the ideas on how to build your brand that she has, and then use technology as a follow-up to continue to reiterate your brand and who you are as a distributor and who you are as a company to your customers. So I'm going to let her get started with some of the more soft skills and content-oriented kind of skills, and then I'm going to follow up when Charity's gone through all of her information on things that you could use from DistributorCentral to back up your brand and differentiate yourself. So Charity, do you think you're ready?
I can be ready. I'm going to try and turn the camera on. I haven't seen myself yet, but I want to say hi to everybody. I don't know. I know what's going to happen. Can you see me? Can you see me now? Oh, there I am. Yay. You think I'd never done this before. Anyway, I just wanted to say hi to everybody. I'm going to turn the camera off while I present because I have ADD and I get distracted by moving pictures and shiny things on the screen. But I did want to jump on and say hi so you guys can see me. So Charity Gibson, Peerless, happy to be here. Thanks for having me, Tiffany. Let's see if I can turn it off now. All right. And you can still see my screen. Everything's good?
I can still see your screen. And
perfect. All right.
For everyone, just for a comfort level, we are recording today's webinar. So you'll be sure to get a copy of it when we're finished. We'll send out a copy of it via email if there's anything that you missed or just wanted to go back and get more information on.
I just want to watch us go through this again, and relive all the fun memories of our presentation. Super fun. All right. Well, so for those of you guys that don't know me, my name is Charity Gibson, aka Charity Poppins, and I am the National Account Coordinator for Peerless Umbrella. We also sell bags and tailgating, and now masks too. Who doesn't, right? I had actually spent 16 years as a distributor and 4 years as a supplier, obviously making my industry tenure 20 years, starting at 3 years old. I wish. I was a founding chef of Promo Kitchen, so visit that, promokitchen.org. And I also host the Badass Women of Promo podcast. If you haven't checked that out yet, shameless self-promotion, badasswomenofpromo.com. Some just fun things about me and then ways to connect on the bottom. Make sure you do check out Peerless Umbrella and also It's Me, Charity G on Instagram. And if you have any questions during or after this presentation, go ahead and email me. One thing I always say, if you've been on my presentations before, you've heard me talk about it. I talk fast, and I know I talk fast. So if you do have questions, be sure to ask. But hearing things at a faster rate of speed actually helps you with your retention. So you are going to remember more of what you hear. So just keep that in mind as we go along. So when Tiffany and I were creating this presentation, I really wanted to come up with something that both suppliers and distributors could benefit from. I think traditionally in the education department in the industry, it's really distributor focused. And so I really feel like the topic today is one that both sides are going to be able to benefit from. Especially because DistributorCentral is actually the only platform that I know of that gives suppliers access to build presentations from our own data. And this is a feature that suppliers probably don't even know about. If you haven't been on the distributor side, you wouldn't even know to ask for this. But to elaborate on this for suppliers that are on the call, as a distributor, distributors, obviously, we know that they use search engines to find our products. And then in case you didn't know, these search engines also have features that allow distributors to kind of click, click, click and add our projects, to different presentations. And this is kind of how they send out information to their clients, which totally makes sense. Now, distributors, as you've probably seen, or maybe never put two and two together, suppliers don't have these same options. So when you ask a supplier for pricing, I'm guessing you're probably either getting like an Excel spreadsheet back from them, or maybe a Word document saved as a PDF, maybe a Photoshop file, depending on how savvy the supplier rep is. And then you're going to get item numbers, pricing, maybe some links that they can, click to view the different items. And so it's just not professional and put together. We don't have the same luxuries on our side as you do. So having the background that I have from being on the distributor side, you can kind of probably imagine, while shortly after I started over here on what everybody calls the dark side, I like it, but I do miss the distributor side sometimes. And this is one of those cases. I had just reached a massive point of frustration trying to put presentations together. So coming to this side of the fence, this was just one of the many tools that I used to use to maximize my efficiency. And that tool just doesn't exist over here for suppliers. We're not given access to this within the search platforms, or actually, so I thought. And that's when actually Tiffany came along and DistributorCentral changed this for me. So we're going to talk about that a little bit more later. Before I get into the technology side of things, which Tiffany is going to talk about the logistics and kind of go into the specifics and the technicalities and things like that, I actually want to talk a little bit about what goes into building a brand that people are going to love, and why somebody would choose you and your brand and your company to do business with over your competitor. Now, as you know, the key factors that differentiate you from your competitors are: one, your likability, or how your personality jives with the client or prospect. I think it's just common knowledge or fact, hopefully by now, that we buy from people that we know, like, and trust. So obviously this plays a huge part in the buyer's decision to choose you. But past that, and sometimes personality aside, it is two, again, and almost more important than your personality, your response time and your ability to effectively communicate with your client. Even if you don't fully answer an email, do you confirm at least you received an email for your client, and maybe reply back and set an expectation that you will get that person on the other end of the email information as soon as possible, or maybe within a set amount of time? I know when I was a distributor, I would not do that, and I would not reply right away. I wouldn't reply until I had an answer, and sometimes that was a few hours, if not 24 hours. And I quickly learned that clients want to know and have the satisfaction and comfort of knowing that we have received their email and we're at least working on it. And then we need to get really good about giving them a realistic time frame of when they should be able to and expect a response. Because if the process is delayed, we need to reach out and say, I haven't forgotten about you. I'm still working on getting you your information together, and I will have it to you in the next few hours, or by the end of the day, or tomorrow. Response time and communication are critical. Just like we as distributors didn't like or don't like, it's hard to switch between the two frame of reference, but we don't like to have to babysit people that we do business with in general. And prospects and clients really shouldn't have to babysit us. It frustrates us, it's going to frustrate them. So simple as that. Don't be the type of salesperson that your client has to babysit. Next up is your product selection. And I'm curious if the products that you've chosen meet the mark for the target demographic that you're working with and you're trying to potentially help your buyer buy for. And will the products that you're selecting or choosing help the client achieve the goals that they're going to set out to achieve? So making the grade with this particular selection or section of what sets you apart requires you that you're asking the right questions before you go searching for products. And I see this all the time in the group. People are asking for help selecting products. They say they've run through 20 things and the client's still not choosing anything that you're selecting. What you need to ask right out the gate are questions that are going to help you narrow down the choice, because when you have the right answers, the products pick themselves. Who are the recipients? What are the ages of those recipients? Are they male? Are they female? Is it a mixture of both? What is the occupation of the recipient for this product? And most importantly, how do those people want the recipient to feel when they receive these products? And what is the action that they want these people to take when they get these products? I know oftentimes we fail to ask our clients what the scope of the project is because we don't want to bug them. I think that's a huge one, right? I don't want to feel like I'm a bug or a nuisance or a nag. And I also don't want to look like I don't know what I'm doing. And so if you ever fallen into that trap, you end up pitching product after product and you keep getting shot down simply because you're running aimlessly towards a goal without knowing where that goal is. You have no idea where you're trying to go. So asking those questions up front does not make you look stupid or dumb or like you don't know what you're doing. Asking those important questions up front of your clients helps you get to the answers you need more quickly, and it helps you create the best promotional product campaign possible. This adds value to the transaction and to the partnership. And that's an important keyword. So keep that in mind as we keep moving forward. So value, speaking of adding value, when I give my talks about social media, one of the criteria that I talk about the criteria that people need to use when they're posting content. So these on the screen right now, my rules for posting content at all. If I'm going to post anything on social media, whether it's for me or for a client or for Peerless, for whatever it is, social media needs to either make people money, save people time, or at the very, very least, make people laugh and entertain them in some way. Basically, with what you're posting on social media, you're interrupting people's lives with that content. So out of respect for them and their time and their job and their family, we need to make sure that our content counts, making people money, saving people time, or entertaining them. So this is the true and simple definition of adding value. And what is true of adding value in social media is also true in what happens when you're trying to win and keep business. When, as a supplier or a distributor, you strive to make sure that every interaction that you have with a prospect or client helps them make money, save time, or entertain them, you're going to not only get those clients, but keep those clients because you are of value to them. So after trying to do business with a number of distributors when I wasn't in the industry, and after being a distributor working with suppliers, I can also tell you some fun statistics. And these are just made up facts and figures, but I'm guessing here, and I'm curious to hear how you guys feel. But I feel like about 80% of distributors and probably 50% of suppliers do not provide this kind of value to their clients. For whatever reason, we can build relationships and even start to make a sale. We go to networking meetings and things like that. We start kind of casting that net and bringing those leads in. But then for some reason, when it comes down to getting pricing to clients or virtuals or what have you, the ball gets dropped. And I have seen this over and over and over and over again. And like I said, I actually went out as a client looking to purchase promotional products from people. And as people are wondering why the big fish and the online giants are getting bigger, there is definitely a huge reason. And quotes and presentations either never showed up to me at all, or they took days and days and days to get to me. And so I know our jobs as a supplier rep and also your jobs as distributor reps are to make your clients look as good as possible. But when time is not only money, it's somebody's reputation that's on the line as well. And we drop the ball as salespeople, providing information or pricing or virtuals, it is really easy to see why those online giants are taking so much of that market share. They make it really easy for people to get information, and when they need products and services, they get them when they need them. And so we talk about oh, well, we need to be creative to set ourselves apart, or we need to push consulting, and we can talk about that all we want. However, at the end of the day, many end buyer companies have been left to choose between waiting the ages and ages and ages for this so-called creative option to come through, or actually just going ahead and ordering online to get any kind of product that they need in hand, even if it's only a one color imprint on an inexpensive pen. So if you don't believe me yourself, I would actually give you the homework of try calling around a couple of distributors in your area, or people that you feel competitors, or have someone in your family do it, and get information for a project that you're working on as if you're a client. I bet you that you will be fascinated by how incredibly easy that it can be for you to stand out from your competitors if you're simply going to be willing to do the work and tell your clients that you're going to do something in a timely manner and then doing it. Basically, make the promises that people need to hear, and then go one step further than your competitors and actually deliver on them. It is really, really that easy. And I hate to say that because I know a lot of people are wondering, what the magic solution is for, beating the online giants. And sometimes it's just as easy as doing the work. And I have a friend, Roger Burnett, in the industry. You guys might know him. He actually runs a distributor company called Social Good Promotions, and he has a girl on staff with him. Her name is Kara, and she's a hotshot customer service person. She's his sales assistant, and her actual title in the company is lead promise keeper. So I'll tell you what, she is really good at what she does. And when she makes a promise about an email she's going to send, or somewhere she's going to be, or a call she's going to be on, she keeps that promise. So my challenge to you right now is that every company needs a promise keeper. And if you're a solo distributor, guess what? The person holding that title is you. So this is where products like DistributorCentral come into play, and where using these tools that you have available to you can be a total game changer for your business. After all, I said this before, right? Time is money. So saving time saves you money. And that is one of the core principles of what we need to be able to do when we're creating content and helping to provide value for our clients. So one of the most simple and effective tools I keep up my sleeve when I was a distributor, kept up my sleeve, I'm sorry, I should say when I was a distributor. Now it's different. I keep the same trick up my sleeve when I'm a supplier. It's just having canned presentations for different events or themes. I found that working in a niche, my clients were doing the same types of events and buying for the same reasons over and over and over again. So, I would ask you to raise your hand. Obviously, I can't see you, but raise your hand anyway, because let's just have some fun. If your clients are doing health fairs, golf tournaments, trade shows, and probably employee and client appreciation items and holiday gifts, these are kind of like the big buying trends in our industry, right? The reasons that people reach out to a distributor to come find us to hopefully help them with their needs. And in turn, you guys come back to us as suppliers and ask these same questions. So suppliers, these questions should sound probably pretty familiar to you too, especially if you're in those promotional products groups on Facebook and you see a lot of these questions being asked. So I had my favorite go-to products that were time tested, functional, and so obviously they would be kept and they would be used, and that makes the promotion effective, right? If it's wantable, keepable, stealable, usable, functional, all those different things. These products encompassed all of those traits, and they were well loved by my clients, but they were also well loved by me because I knew as a distributor that the suppliers that I was ordering this core group of products from had been loyal to me, and they had proven their worth to me because they would deliver on time, they would communicate effectively. All the things that my clients are going to value in me, I valued about the suppliers that I was working with as a distributor. However, I also found myself quoting these same items over and over and over again. New client, new quote. Finally, it was actually far too long. I'm kind of embarrassed that it took me, I would say, probably 2 years, maybe even more, into me owning my own company. So this is, 2012 at this point. I finally decided to make it as easy as possible for myself, and I figured out that I could create presentations with certain products and not save them by client, but save them by theme. Like, big aha moment for me there. I don't know if anybody else has had this aha moment. If this is your aha moment, maybe you figured it out way before me. But golf tournament merch, health fair giveaways, trade show giveaways, appreciation gifts, and then with the items already picked out and the presentation already done, I could easily just attach that pre-made presentation to an email and immediately get back to clients with products I already knew that they were going to love and that I didn't have to worry about selling. I knew the price was right. Everything was updated because I was doing these presentations in DC. So my clients had everything they needed and I wasn't out basically any time at all. So for that, that was like a big bingo moment for me. Next on my list of things that kind of set you apart from your competition, though, is decoration, right? And stepping up your game in the creative department. That's a huge competitive advantage. And if you're just firing off a pre-made presentation, obviously that's not super creative. So obviously sending a canned presentation doesn't seem like the most highly creative thing to do. However, it's not just about the product, but also, more importantly, how you use that product to tell your client's story. And that's what really matters. So go back to having those basic presentations already done and ready to be sent. Now that you have all that time freed up from building the presentation, you have time to request, or better yet, I would suggest that you get some Photoshop skills and learn how to create virtuals on your own so you don't have to wait for your suppliers. But now you have time to request virtuals, or if you can, do them on your own. And then for those clients, as they're requesting them, now instead of creating the presentation and all of that, you can simply just edit the presentation and include your custom virtuals. And that right there will increase the chances that your prospect or client will like what they see and act on it. So for speed, you can set on the fly if you need to, but for maximum effectiveness, you can customize your already pre-made things strategically. So keep it the same, but change it up. Obviously, there are many times when a canned presentation is not going to work. And obviously, this right here is the exact reason that you need to have canned presentations, because the name of the game is freeing up your time. And it might surprise you to hear, I talked a little bit earlier about the online giants and some of these big online promo retailers. But part of the reason that they do so well is not that they are transactional. And hear that again. Part of the reason that they do so well is not because they are purely transactional. What many of you probably don't know on this call is that the big online sellers do a massive amount of custom business as well. They do a ton of hand holding at higher levels. They've got tiered customer service. So they're only able to do this because their online component handles the transactional business incredibly efficiently. So the smaller orders, the easy repeat orders, the commodity business where people just want a one color imprint on one location. And this is where a lot of traditional distributors like you guys that are probably on this call don't have the capacity to develop the website technology to compete in this space. But you can mimic these efficiencies by leveraging technology that you do have access to. And that's where the magic of Distributor Central comes in. So I'm going to go with that, turn it over, sorry, to Tiffany. You ready to take it from here, girl?
I think so. I'm excited. Charity, thanks so much, because those are really all super great points. And that's really what Distributor Central is about, and why we do what we do at all, is so that distributors have those efficiencies available to them in an easy and cost-efficient manner. So you should be able to see my screen here in just a second. And if you're a distributor that's on today's session, or even a supplier, many of the things that I'm going to talk about are very similar in nature. So they're using functionality in the same way. But as a distributor, everything that Distributor Central does for you, we do at no cost. And some of the things that we've released this year really play into what Charity was talking about creating kind of a go-to set of products, and we call it collections, where you can create a go-to set of products, save it in your account, and you always have it ready to go and available anytime you run into a customer that is looking at new ideas or golf tournaments or trade shows. You've already got a preset of products that you can just easily customize and email over to a customer in a matter of seconds. And so I'm going to spend a little bit of time on there. Distributor Central we give you a completely free product research solution. So if I were really a distributor, and just because Charity works at Peerless, if I were really going to start looking for products that Peerless offers, I can just do a keyword search and search for those items. And then what I can do when I start to get back the products that I'm interested in is I can add them to a list. So I can create lists and save searches on my favorite products that might fit specific markets or specific industries or event types. And once I've done that, and I'm going to just show you some lists that I've already created. Once I've pinned some ideas down to my idea board, it will allow me to start saving those. But I can manage my list. So I've already started to create some stuff that I think are just really fun ideas for summer. And I think that would help my clients that are looking for some summer ideas. But if I had a customer that called in and they needed some new spring ideas, or they needed pens under a specific price point, and that's a search or like a request that I get a lot, I can create as many lists as I want. And then from there, every time one of those customers calls in, I can customize those pre-built time-saving lists even further by emailing them over. So once I've started building out those lists, I can then choose the customer that I'm sending it over to. So I'm just going to pick one of my customers that I've got in my account and grab their email address. And I can then we'll talk a little bit about this here in just a second. I can even customize the websites that I've built inside Distributor Central for them to revert back to. And so I've built a little demo site that we're going to take a closer look at. And then once I've done that, I'm just going to title this Summer Ideas. And then once I've done that, I can customize those pre-built product sets further. So maybe my customers called in and I don't want to include maybe all the marketing content about this particular umbrella that Peerless has provided, or I really don't want them to order 25. I can customize the pricing and the quantity information, or take out the setup charges if I want to, and customize each one of these emails with just very little bit of work for my customer and email this right over to them in just a couple of minutes. And then my customers got exactly what they were asking for, or a set of ideas based off of their event type, in just a couple of seconds. So this is one way that you could use Distributor Central to pre-build lists and product sets that you're going to be using the most frequently, and save those to your account so that they're ready to go. Another thing that Charity talked just a little bit about was have like virtual artwork ready, and making sure that your customer and you are on the same page and you're getting them information as quickly as possible. So one of the tools that you have available to you in your account is you can build as many websites within Distributor Central as you see fit. Distributor Central will even host your domain name for you at no cost. And a domain name, and taking the time to designate a domain name, is just a really great way for you to differentiate your brand and keep your customers coming back to you. You can purchase a domain name from like GoDaddy or Namecheap or domain.com, and they're very inexpensive. I just recently purchased, because I just recently found out this was available, .promo is now a thing, and I purchased Tarr.promo from GoDaddy, and I've built this and I've hosted it on Distributor Central. And then I took that same list that I'd created within my account that I titled Summer Fun, that I could send over to a customer, and I created a presentation site that I could send over to my customer. When I've created a presentation site, the site lives forever. So if this was specific to a customer that I was working with, or an event type, maybe it was tradeshows.ttar.promo. This list lives, and this website lives forever, and I can continue to share it with customers and add new ideas to it on the fly. And every time I add new ideas to it, I don't have to tell the customer that here's some new things. It's just living on this website, and my customers can just keep coming back here for new and fresh ideas. But one of the tools that Distributor Central recently released is a virtual designer. So it's not a virtual sampling tool, not necessarily a designer. But what I can do if I was sending this over to a specific customer, I could take all of those idea sets that I had, kind of some thoughts that would be a good fit for their company, and I can pre-add their logo to the website. And what it's going to do is it's going to take this logo and it's going to upload them to the product ideas that I had that I felt like were really good for summer. And now I can send this over to the customer and they can get a visual representation of what these product ideas that I have would look like with that customer's logo already applied to it. And I can create these types of either presentation websites or idea generating websites or product sets. I can keep creating these over and over and over again for different markets or customers. And then anytime I have a new idea or a new product that I think would be a good fit, all I have to do is go back to Distributor Central and add it to a list that I've already saved into my account. If I wanted to add anything else that maybe wasn't already on this list, all I have to do is add it, and now it's going to update the website with those new ideas. So those are some ways that you can use Distributor Central to brand you and brand what you do and your unique ideas, and do it once and reuse it over and over and over again to help save time and money. Other things that you can do through Distributor Central is you could build fully customized websites. You could generate lead generating content on your website. We've got a ton of templates already built inside Distributor Central that you could use to achieve that. One of the ideas that I recently was working on with a distributor is creating some content that would engage a customer enough to give you their name and their email address so that you could follow up and generate your own leads. So we created some 9 steps for getting great results for your business with promotional products. And if I were really a distributor, my customer would come here, give me their name and their email address, and it's going to send back a white paper on all the reasons why promotional products are so impactful to brand those businesses for your customers. So if you don't have a Distributor Central account, or these are things that you're interested in trying with your own organization, Distributor Central will get you an account, will help you get these things started. You can use our new collections manager, the virtual design tools on hundreds of products in your account, one of our free templates to easily create a website branded to your organization that will differentiate you from what your competitors do. And use those websites and use technology to really set yourself apart and show your personality. I think it's important to make sure that you're just talking to your customers about who you are, why your business is different, and how you can provide value to your customers, and you can use technology to achieve those things. That's really everything that I had on my end, Charity. Is there anything else that you want to add in, or any other thoughts that you have?
No, I just think that it's so powerful that not only you have like this page right here, not only do you have this list of products you want to pitch for, like I said, golf tournaments, health fairs, all of these different things that we are continually talking to our clients about, then these are annual events as well. So the idea that you can have a canned presentation or a list, you can add or take away as you find new products that are better suited to help your clients. And then the concept of being able to just upload one logo and have it propagate on an entire catalog of products right before your eyes, massive. And I think, as far as suppliers are concerned, I don't know how much of this particular availability is available for suppliers, but it changes the resources that we have available in our art departments and all of those things, and changes our ability as salespeople to connect with our distributor clients to help them connect with their clients better, faster, saving time and making more money in less amount of time with less amount of work. And so I think it's brilliant. I'm a huge advocate for this. I think it's been a long time coming, and the industry is finally catching up to retail technology, and it's very exciting to see. So thanks for including me, and yeah, I'm excited to see what people have to say about it.
So this technology would be available both on the supplier and the distributor side. And I do think that suppliers, one of the things that sometimes might not, and I think you mentioned this too, Charity, is there's not really a system out there that will allow you to create a quote and then keep record of that quote so that quotes can be followed up on. I know that seems kind of silly, but it's just not really out there and readily available. So it's available to you as a supplier if you've got products on Distributor Central, and then as a distributor. if your customers are asking for pricing information, I mean, I'm a salesperson at my core. I like to follow up on any possible opportunity. And if I'm just typing an email with pricing, that's almost impossible for me to follow up on. However, if I've created a presentation or if I've created a quote, I'm going to get a quote number and I can run back a report on all the quotes that I've created in the last 30 days or 2 weeks. And now I've got a whole list of things that I can do on a Wednesday, which is follow up on all the quotes that have not yet generated revenue, and make sure those customers have everything that they need. And you can use Distributor Central to manage your customers and manage that level of reporting.
It also gives you a nice reason to be able to reach out to your clients too, instead of, hey, just checking to see what projects you're working on, which is lame and people don't like that. You can now easily reach out and be like, hey, I just wanted to let you know that I updated some products on your unique web address. I found some really cool things that I think you would like that fit with your brand. Go check it out. In case you forgot, here's the link again. Click on it and you'll see things that I've already added with your logo ready to go. Let me know what you think. And it can open up a great conversation, some great dialogue. You could take it one step further if you've already worked with certain suppliers to get maybe some spec samples in those clients' hands, and you can surprise them with a box that's arriving, like, hey, there's a box that showed up. I saw that it delivered today. When you open that up, those products are already waiting in your custom website. Just click that link and you'll be able to touch, feel, see, hold, and examine those products with the logos that you're seeing on this website for you. It's just amazing, amazing resources to be able to generate business in unique ways. And it gives you such a leg up on your competition, because even online retailers or resellers, they just have a product of catalogs, a catalog of products, out there. And I much respect to them for having the technology and being able to figure that point, those types of things out. But huge props to DC for putting that type of power, and even more power, I think, in a sense, customizable power, into the hands of distributors everywhere. So huge.
And doing it once and not having to do it again.
Don't have to touch it. It's evergreen. So you can actually have extra time to maybe drink your coffee before it gets cold, maybe take a lunch break, or just use that extra time to just get more done, and expand your reach. And so it's such massively powerful tools if people take the time to learn how to use them and get creative with how they're, don't just create it, but then tell people about it, because you can have the best pizza on the planet. If nobody knows about it, you're not going to sell any of it. So.
And if anybody has questions or needs more information on any of the things that we talked about today, my contact information is up on my screen. Please feel free to reach out, ask any questions. I will do my very best to answer and get you set up and help you show you how to set up those collections and those saved searches, so that you can have those built, ready to go, and email out to your customer in just a moment's notice.
So rad.
All right. Thanks everybody for taking the time to join us today. This was super fun. It's always fun when you can do these kinds of things with a friend. Just makes it, I don't know. It just makes it more fun, and you just bounce different ideas around when you get to do these kinds of things with a friend. So Charity, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with distributors today and suppliers on building their brand and just using technology to differentiate yourself.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for having me. Thank all of you guys so much for being here. I'm actually taking off Thursday through Monday, so if you need me, either email me today or catch me on Tuesday. But appreciate you being here, and any questions that you have, I'm happy to answer them, whether it's about branding. Don't ask me about technology stuff. I will lead you wrong and it would be terrible, but I will talk to you about branding and social media all day long and umbrellas.
All right. Thanks so much, everyone. Have a great rest of your week.